Hi everyone, it's Joni at Granny J Clay. I just wanted to share something with you that I have been learning. I have been struggling with my looper. It wasn't closing my loops for me, and so as you can see right here, I've been practicing. And I just wanted to share you something, a few things with you that I've learned. You probably already know them. If you're a beater, you probably already know them. I have this very soft, very soft wire that I'm just going to use for practicing. So I'm going to pull a long end off of it here and just kind of clip some off. You probably heard my husband come in the door up there. He just took the dogs out. Okay. I just wanted to show you, and this is, let me show you what I did with my looper. I painted it. The last time you saw me, I painted the claws and this. And I may have painted that at that time too, I can't remember, but I call that the pin. That little round thing, it's the pin. It's what the loop is made with when you make it. But I also painted on the inside. You probably can't see very well, but because some of it's being scratched off. But I couldn't see that hole very well because, well, it's black and black. And so I painted white around it, and then I painted white around this side too, just with some, acrylic paint. Anyway, so I've got that done, and then I decided I would practice with, take some time to practice with this looper because it is really a wonderful thing, and I wanted to know how to use it properly. So let me just show you what I've been doing. It may be wrong, I don't know, but this is what I do, and it has worked. So I line this up, put it through the hole. As you can see, it comes through on that side, and then I make sure. Let me push my beads up out of the way a little bit. Make sure that the wire goes up against this pin. I want to hold it up against the pin, and which makes the wire kind of go up a little bit against the top of this hole over here. But just hold on to it. I'm going to back the wire out so it's almost even over here with the looper. Let me just hold it there, and then I'm going to bring it up, and you can watch and see when that gets cut. We did this the other day, I think. And you'll see that it's going to cut any second now, right between these two. There, it just cut. Now, watch very carefully the rest of the process here. Okay, let me put this back in. So there it is. I'm pulling on the wire, that's why it popped out on me. Okay, there it is. Try to get it back in the way it was. And now it's going to come around, and I'm going to pinch it hard. And we've got it in here. Now I'm going to bend this to my left or toward me. And I'm going to make sure this is straight a little bit. And what that does is it aligns the wire with the loop. The wire should be in the middle of the loop. Let's see how that worked. It did. Now you're also going to see that this, let's see here. No, I want you to see this. Okay. I don't want to get so close that it is blurry for you. But you can probably see it, that this wire is laying on top of this wire instead of meeting with it evenly. And so all I've been doing is I've been coming in and not squeezing this very hard because this is a soft wire I'm working with. I just come in and I just pop it down like that. And then I make sure this is still straight. And so there it is, there it is. It looks good. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to, I'll back you out a little bit more. I'll take one of my beads and I'll thread it. Let me thread it on here. And I'm just going to put it on. I got all of these navy beads when they were having a sale on their beads, on their pearls, at Michael's once. I just got a whole bunch of them, so I've got a whole drawer full of these beautiful navy pearls. Okay, now I'm going to take this end, coming back down again. Let me show you here. And I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to push it through this hole so it comes out the back hole, just like that. And then I'm just going to pull it all the way through. and I'm going to line the wire up with the pin. So I move my wire up here toward the pin. Push it up. And what that does, it brings the wire up in the hole a little ways too. Now I'm going to turn this a little bit so I can get my loop to be faced up, because when I make the loop here, it will be facing up, and then we'll have them in the same direction, which is what we want. Okay, so I'm going to hold this tight, grab my handle here. Now watch carefully. You'll see when it's going to cut. I'm just going to push it. At this point, I've not done this before, but you could push it down a little bit. Now, there we go. Okay, it's down. And I'm going to cut it right there. It cuts right there. Now continue to watch this. I'm going to take it and I'm going to push until, let me do this. This is a claw, I call it a claw, until this claw touches the pearl but doesn't squeeze up against it. I was squeezing in all of them, and I don't know, it just made a long, what I call a long neck, about right, in here, so that the loop was away. It wasn't up right next to the bead, which is what I want. I don't want a neck here against the bead. I want the loop against the bead. So let me see if we can do this here. So I'm going to push. Now you can see right there that the claw is just pushed up against the pearl. It's not completely together, which that's fine. Now I'm going to take the pearl and I'm going to bend it back just a little bit because I want to bend the wire a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to open it up and I'm going to get it off of there, hopefully. I just take it and I pump the handles so it releases. And let's take a look at it. That's this one, I guess, over on this side. Okay, you can see right here that it's got a little bit of what I call a neck right there. Don't want it. Do not want the neck. I want my loops to come right up to the bead. So I'm going to close this one up and see what happens there. See if I get any more. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's see if it moves though. If it moves back and forth like this, horizontally, that's not so good. If you want your loops like I do right next to the bead, you don't want it moving back and forth. It can twist around. It can go like this, but you don't want it. Let's see if it moves. Oh, it's not moving either. That was good. So once you close it up, you get a better look. So you will have to close it just a little bit, but that looks so much better than what I was doing before. Practice really does help. You guys, let me pull one of these beads out. I'll show you. This is one of my first ones I made, and it's not even closed all the way, so let me show you. Here's the first loop I made, and I'm going to just pull it up all the way to the bead, which is where I want it. And then you can see I've got this neck on this side. Don't want a neck. I want the bead close up, the loop close to the pearl. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to bend it in a little bit. And now it kind of disformed it or misformed it a little bit. Can you tell? Right here, there is the wire is more straight now instead of round. Don't want that either. That one's a nice round one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, I'm going to kind of bend it back a little bit. And that helped. Okay, that helped. You don't see a really long neck there. I still think it might wiggle a little bit, but it's not as long as it was. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, it isn't going to wiggle. Okay. I thought it would, yeah, it wiggles just a little bit. That's not too bad, and you can play with it depending on your wire. This wire is so soft that when I do things with it, it bends it, dents it, and bends it, but this is my practice wire, so it's okay. So I did that again. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to take, okay, 2 pliers, and I'm going to make sure that these are even. and they are, and it still has a little bit of a neck there. Can you see it? Yeah, it does. That's what I tried to eliminate with all of the rest of these. And most of them turned out the way I wanted them. The more I did it, the better I got at it, which is, you know, that's true for anything. This one turned out really nicely. I like that one. So I'm going to do one more for you, and then you can practice on your own. Maybe you don't need the practice. I sure did need the practice. So let's bring this in one more time. And I'm going to just stick it through the hole in here. Make sure it comes out that side, right there. And I'm going to just back that off a little bit. And I'm going to push the wire right here up toward the pin, okay? Up toward the pin. And then I'm going to make it, and that I can move more quickly because I don't have a pearl on the end of it yet. I'm going to just pull this out since it broke off. Let me get out of there. You can see how soft that wire is. Okay, so now I've made that closure. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it just a little bit, bend it to my left a little bit, because I want to align, again, this end of the wire with the loop. I want this wire to be in the center. So let's see how well that turned out. Let's see if it did or if it didn't. And I turn it over and I drop it. There we go. Okay. What I'm finding happening, though, with almost everyone that I do, and I think it's because this wire sticks up when I'm closing it in here. The end, and you can even see it sticking out right there. Sticks up a little bit. So all I'm doing now is taking my plier in, and I'm just going to give it a quick squeeze, and it gets rid of that. And it doesn't bother it at all. It just closes it. So it's really nice. Let's get another bead, and I'm going to bring this back in here so you can see it again. And back these out so I don't hit everything as I go along. Okay, so then we take the bead that's on the wire by the loop. We go to the end of the wire. We come in, and I'm just going to bring it all the way through. I'm going to hold on to it here. Make sure that the loop is facing up toward you, because when we make the loop again here, it will face up. Now then they'll be both faced in the right direction. So I'm holding the pearl up against the looper, holding this but pressing it against the looper, not terribly hard, but hard enough so it keeps it there. And then I'm going to just bring these up, and you can see how it's going to break off any second now. Watch it. About right there it should break. Yep, it broke off. I'll pull it out, and I'm going to continue on now, holding it in there. And I'm just going to touch the pearl, but I'm not going to pinch hard. I was pinching hard. I was closing it each time. Sometimes I'd break a bead. Sometimes I'd have a very long neck on the end of the wire. So I hold it that far, and now I know that this has not closed because I haven't pushed it in all the way. So I know I'm going to have to do some work when it's done. So let's open it up, and then I just bring the handles in a little bit, and I turn it over and I shake it, and it generally comes off. Okay, let me just get so you can see, this is the first side we made. I'll just hold that, and now you can see that side. Let's see, come back all the way. And it doesn't have too bad of a neck on it, I've noticed here. You got some here, but when you close that loop, it's going to get rid of it. So let's just see how this works. Let's bring the round nose pliers in, and I'm going to close it, and then I'm going to kind of pinch it. And what I'm noticing right here again is it's got a straight line rather than round. So I feel like this is not lined up well with the center. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to, hold on to just a minute here. I'm going to come in and I'm going to bend it back a little bit like that. And you know what? This is, this one, I've got such, I'm sorry, but I have such soft wire in here, and it's good to practice with softer wire though, I think. So I bent it back toward me a little bit more, and I'm going to try to go in and close it. Okay, well that's better. I'm going to come in with my plier here and hold it, and I'm going to kind of even this out a little bit better. All right, let's take a look at this. Now it should spin, like I said, it can spin, but you don't want too much movement. That's too much movement for me. I do not like that. I don't want it to be that, to have that much of a neck right there and have that much movement. So you know what I'm going to do? We're just going to do that one again and see what we did wrong. So let's just take it off. I'm just going to take it off. We're going to do one more. And I'll bring my wire in here. All right. Bring it back up. I'm going to put it in on that end. It doesn't have to stick out far at all on that end. And I'm going to make this loop. It's going to pop, break right there. And I can see that this end right in here, this end right here on the wire that just popped away is sticking up. So if you wanted to, you could come in and just kind of push it down a little bit, which I just did. Let's see if that does anything to it. And then I'll just pull this one out so we can see it. All right, now I'm going to keep pushing. There's no bead up here that I have to worry about. So I'm going to keep pushing all the way. I pinched it all the way. And that closed it. And as you notice, I'm holding this all the way shut, my handles. Okay, so now I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to bend it toward me a little bit. And what we're trying to do is to line up the loop so that the loop is in the center of this wire. So let's see if we did that. Now close it up a little bit, wiggle it off, and oh, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? In fact, that looks very good. I'm not sure that is, it's not even sticking up. So that's a good one. Okay, so let's just put this on again. And this is, by the time I would get to this part, when I first started practicing with these, I was getting frustrated because it seemed like I wasn't getting what I wanted ever. And so here we go. Let's just put this in, push it all the way in. And then I'm going to, again, I'm going to make sure that the wire is leaning up against the pin, not down here against the claws. It holds still better and makes a better loop for me if I hold it up against that pin. And I am holding on to this loop over here, and I'm pressing on the loop so that the pearl is leaning up against the looper. And that helps me. And I will do that as I come around. I will hold it and press it against that as I come around. Okay, so let's just see. I'm going to do it. We're going to come around. It's going to break off in just a second here. Okay, there it broke off. See if I can get rid of that. Yep. Okay. And now get this back where it was supposed to go. Kind of let go of it when I was doing that other one. Shoot. Okay, let's do that again. As you can see, I still need more practice, but it is working. I've gotten several that have been really good. Okay, let's just do it again. Come in, make my loop, press the wire up against the pin, make my loop, and I had already bent this, sorry. Let's pretend we hadn't bent it. So I bend it this way a little bit, make sure that I have it lined up the right way. Okay, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to squeeze it down a little bit, and that is pretty good. It's lined up in the middle. Then I'm going to again thread my bead. Hopefully this will work this time and I won't have to do it anymore for you. So there it goes through the holes. I'm going to bring it all the way through so that my bead, my pearl, is going to line up with the side right here, with the side of this looper. Okay, and make sure my loop is facing upwards because this loop here is going to be up. All right, here we go. I'm just going to hold it up against the pin and I'm going to slowly come around, holding the bead, holding, touching the bead, but not pushing up against the bead. And now I'm going to back this up a little bit and I'm going to release it. Okay. Okay. And now I'm going to take my, where to go? My round nose pliers here. And as you can see right here, it's not closed all the way. This side will never be closed all the way. Well, I shouldn't say never. Sometimes it actually does close. And you'll notice that there's a neck here. I really don't want that neck. We'll see what happens. If we can get this closed and it looks fairly decent, I'll keep this one. And it does. It's not too bad. But I need to even them out a little bit. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to hold on to this side. I can see that it's going to be a little bit loose here. Okay. And then I'm going to make sure that they are straightened out. So they're both, yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to hold on to this one and just show you right here. I'm going to move the bead a little bit. Do you see that little bit of a neck? So it's probably going to move some on me. Let me see. I'll hold the pearl and it can spin, but yeah, see, it's moving a little bit. And depending on your wire, you can fix that. I have gone in on some of these and just kind of opened that up a little bit and put the wider part of my round nose plier in, and I have bent it back a little bit more, holding on to this down here so I don't kind of lose it. That's not going to work. Okay. This don't do it with this soft wire. And then you can bring it back. And actually, see now it looks, because some of the neck got pulled up into this loop, now it's a little bit bigger. The loop is bigger than the other one. You don't want that either. Okay? You don't want that either. So what I'm going to do is, if you need to fix it, I'm going to just clip off a little bit toward the end. And now I'm going to go back in with my round nose plier. And I'm just going to bring it back around. And that's not too bad. Do you see? I'm going to pinch it. Let me pinch it with this a little bit. It's not too bad. It still has a little bit of a straight edge right here. But you know, when you put this on a necklace, they won't notice it, but you will notice it if it wiggles back and forth. See, now I fixed it. You can fix a lot of things. Sometimes you have to just start over, but you can fix a lot of things just by kind of looking at it and figuring out what you need to do. But now that wiggles a little bit, but not much at all. And that's not bad. I do not like to see a neck here nor a neck there. I want the loops to be right up next to the bead, if at all possible. So that was what I was practicing. And I had some good results and some not so good results. And so I just wanted to share that little hint with you. Maybe it's a little bit overboard on, oops, I'm going to back out a little bit. It might be a little bit overboard on doing that or overkill, but I hope you appreciated that. You probably, a lot of you out there I know have beaded, and so you could teach me these things, but that is something new. You know, I remember better when I've learned it myself, and I've struggled with it through it myself. And so that's what I've done. Now, just want to encourage you again, if you don't have a looper, don't shy away from them. They're really fantastic and save you a lot of time. Again, this is the 2.25 and this is the 1.5. I use both of them and they're wonderful. Okay, so that's all I wanted to share for today. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you have learned something from it. So you go and practice now, and I'm going to try to figure out my next project, and then I will show you. So that's all for now, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, and just be blessed. God bless you all. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.